channel. If I'm a returning subscriber, thank you so much for this support that you've always been showing me and giving me. Thank you so much, and I don't take anything for granted. Amen. To my new viewers and subscribers, this is home, and this is Blossom Venture, and this is where we roll. So we've been talking so much about African customs and beliefs, especially when it comes to the Luo community, and we've been talking about death. Yeah, for the past like 3 days we've been talking about death, and now I just wanted to tackle an issue concerning myths, the myths surrounding the dead when it comes to the traditional African society or community, especially in the Luo culture. As I had already said, Luos, they are not afraid of the dead. In fact, they always treat the dead with so much respect. So I wanted to talk about the dead, because as far as the Luos are, yes, as far as the Luos respected the dead, yeah, as far as they respected the dead, and in fact they normally give the dead a befitting burial. There are things that have always been surrounding the dead when it comes to the Luo culture and beliefs, because they believe that if you die peacefully, you just died a natural death, and that there was no myths that are surrounding the dead when it comes to the Luo culture and beliefs, because they believe the Luo culture, they believe that if at all somebody died a peaceful death, like a death that wasn't a natural death, let me say a natural death, that person was not going to come back. The spirit of that person wasn't going to come back to haunt or disturb people, but the spirit was going to be like resting in peace. Maybe if at all the spirit comes back, the spirit would just be like trying to guide the family, trying to like help the family in one way or another. So they believe that the dead still communicate with the living. Yeah, that is how they believe that the dead, then it's like, no, they're not really dead, but they are like sleeping, and they believe that the dead normally communicates with the living. And that's the reason why you'd find that maybe if at all okay, the naming, you'll come back. That's why you'll find that in most cases when it comes to the naming of kids, most of the kids, especially in the Luo customs and belief, or in the traditional African society, or even till now, they used to name the kids after the dead. Maybe your mom has already passed away, or your dad, but your dad now or mom sends a dream to maybe one of your relatives, so that the woman carrying the pregnancy, the expected mother, can, when she puts to bed, she can name the child after him. And in most cases, you'll find that if at all that child is born, the child will just be crying continuously without even stopping. And that way people will just tell you even the old women, or even the men will just tell you that this child is crying because he or he is lacking a name and is still searching for a name. So if at all that person is not being given the name of the dead person, the child is not, the baby, the infant is not given the name of that dead person, the baby won't stop crying. And that is how it used to be. You'll find that the baby will cry with that, just cry. After being born, the baby will just cry, tremble until the baby turns red, because the baby is seeking for a name, is looking for a name, and the spirit of the dead person is like inside inside the baby, that is triggering the baby to continue crying, to continue crying. That means that dead person is not happy at all that he or she hasn't been named after the baby, and because of that, she will be communicating to the people through the baby. So the baby will be crying, and now people will just be guessing names, because you wouldn't know that this child is supposed to be called so and so, who had already died. If at all that person, like the dead person never sent a dream, because they believe that a dead person can send a dream to somebody. If at all maybe there was a unexpected woman in the community or in the family, yeah, and she was expecting a child, the dead person, the spirit of the dead person would come like in a dream to another person, maybe in the community or in the family. One person, the spirit would just choose one person to pass the message to the parents, to the of that child who hasn't been born or who has already been born. He would just send a message through dream that you see what, I want to be named. I want this child to be named after me. I don't want to be forgotten. That is the essence of everything. They don't want to be forgotten because they feel that maybe there's a way in which they are going to be forgotten, and that is that's one of the reasons why maybe their spirits is not at peace, is not resting in a peace. So they want to be like renamed after that child, so that at least the spirits, if you're calling that that child, if I told that child that the dead person was called maybe Mary or somebody, if you say Mary, 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 it will be like calling the name of that the dead person. I mean, the person who had already died. I think we are together together here. So you'll find that okay, that is in case the dead person sent a dream to somebody, through somebody, so that at least the child being born, the child that was being expected would be called after her or after him. So if at all that the dead person never sent any dream to anybody in the family, the family will just be gazing. Like even if it's the mother or the grandma of the child, she or he will just be gazing, singing dirges, is it dirges? Yes, dirges, singing dirges and just calling names of the dead people. Just keep calling names of the dead people till the baby responds, and the baby is going to respond. If at all that the name has been called, the name that, or the name of the spirit of the dead person was being called, and now the baby like accepted the name, that means that the spirit had already accepted the name that was supposed to be given to that child. The child will just stop crying all of a sudden and just look as if nothing was going on, which means that now the spirit of the dead person is at peace, and now the spirit is just happy because a new person, a new him or her, has been born through that child. It is like an incarnation. Is it an incarnation? Yes, it is like an incarnation. So this child you'll find out that this child, while growing up, this child is going to be taking like all the characters of that dead person. If at all that person was maybe like kind, loving, and such, the child is just going to be that. If at all that person was just a nuisance to the village, the child is also going to just be like that, a carbon copy of the dead person. That is how it's going. It was going to be. That child is going to take everything, and this one is in terms of the behavior of the dead person. This child is going to inherit. Is like inheriting everything. If I told that person was like somebody who used maybe like to be a healer or something of that sort, you'll find that this child, while growing up, the child, she or he, is going to acquire those skills, the healing skills that this person used to have. It's just going to be like that, a carbon copy of the dead person. So that is how they used to do. They come back through a child who was been born. So they come back, and by doing that, their spirit is going to continue living among the community. So you'll find that if at all that child is not named after that person, if at all maybe the parents refuse to bluntly refuses to name that child after that dead person, the child might even cry to death. And that is why they used to come the grandmother or even the family members, they used to come and just call out names of the dead people, call out names till they get to the name that was required. That is at all if the spirit of the dead never sent any dream to any person. So if you refused to call that child then the name of that dead person, that means the child is going to die. Is really going to die. And that's why you'll find that in the Luo community, most kids, like you find that maybe when it comes to like girls, you'll find that the girl is called Mami. Like by the way, for example, I'm named after my grandmother, though I never saw her because she died when even my dad was still young. I never saw her, but I was named after her, of which I have like 4 names. Yes, I have like 4 names that were hers. So I was named. If you ever go to like Western Kenya, western part of Kenya, you'll find, and you get to find that there are kids that are called, or even ladies that are called mommy. Just know that that lady was named after the grandmother. So that is how it was supposed. And in most cases, you'll find that it's always the firstborns. The firstborns are the ones that are always named after their grandmothers. After their grandmothers. They are always the first ones that are named after their grandmothers. And this is not to say that I was crying. No, it was like mine. I don't know the story behind it, by the way, and I've never even asked why I was named after her. I've never even asked for. I've never ever asked why I was named after her. And truth to be told, most of the people say that I have like the same characteristics that she used to have. Those people who knew her, that is how they say it. So it is always, it is common. And you'll find that if it's a boy, the boy will be called daddy. Daddy. You see, the boy will be called daddy. So if you go even to Kisumu, I'll find that there is a child or a baby being called daddy. Know that that boy or that child is named after the grandfather. And there's a reason behind it. There's a real reason behind it. And if you're named after your grandmother or you're named after your grandfather, there's a way you're supposed to be carrying yourself. You just find that because people view you, even your family members, maybe your uncles, they view like they view like, let me say, like their mom. They normally accord you that kind of respect because they feel that whenever they are calling you, it is like they're calling their mother. And whenever they're calling you, if at all you are a boy, it's like they're calling their father. So it's like you are reminding them. Anytime they call you so and so, it is like they're reminding you of their mom. Or if at all they're calling you so and so, you feel that it is like they're reminding you of their dad. So you'll find that even at times calling you by your full name is always a problem to them, because they feel that if at all I call it, it's like calling it their mother using their real name. So that is the reason why it is called mommy. For a lady or for a girl, it's called mommy instead of the real name. Instead of calling the real name, they will just be calling mommy or mommy. And instead of calling the real dad's name, they will be calling daddy. So this I can see that this video is kind of going to be long, because we're still going to tackle more myths concerning the dead. Here I was talking about the naming of the kids, of the children, when it comes to the myths surrounding the dead. So the dead, the people, the living people normally call normally call their children after normally name their children after the dead. That is to protect the child and to continue to continue with the memories of the dead ones, their dead relatives, even if it's an aunt, even if it's a grandmother, even if it's a brother, even if it is an uncle, such stuff. So here in the myths surrounding the dead, we have only tackled about the naming of the children. They name their children after the dead to protect, first of all, to protect the child from any harm. Because if at all they don't name the child after the dead, when the child is born, the child might even die. Yes, the child must even die, because it is like you are hurting the spirit. You are hurting the spirit of the dead person. And since you are hurting the spirit of the dead person, the only thing that she or he is going to do is just to end the child's life, because you don't want to name the child after him or after her. So that was the one of the reasons, to protect the child. And another reason is to continue with the memory of the dead person. Maybe this person was somebody who was always very kind to people, who was very loving and caring to people, and now that person never wanted to be forgotten. And for her not to be forgotten, for him not to be forgotten, is by naming her or him after a child that has been born. And that is a child. It was only a child that has been born, not a child that was already born and already grown. No, it was a child that was still in the womb, the child that is still fresh, the child that has been born. That was the reason. That was one of the myths that is one of the myths that it in fact is still practiced even now. It is still practiced, though there are other communities that are still also doing it, like the Luyas. The Luyas are also doing that. They also believe in life after death when it comes to the naming of the child, whereby the child will just cry and cry uncontrollable. Even if you try to control the child, to like soothe the child is not even going to stop crying. So those are the myths. That is one of the myths that surrounds the death. I'm still going to talk about more about this, about myths that surrounds the death, because I still have like let me say like 3 more topics to go concerning myths concerning the dead. So watch. Make sure that you normally watch each and every episode, so that at least you can be at par with me. So when I am uploading a video, you will know where how the story is flowing. So if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly subscribe, kindly turn on your notification channel, and kindly be good. See you on the next one.